a reputable source. So that's exactly what we're talking about today. Today, we're going to talk about how to vet these sources to find the right lender that can actually do what they say they're going to do. Look, this is one of the biggest problems I've ever dealt with in decades of lending is that you deal with lenders that say they can do things that they can't. As a matter of fact, we literally just got out of a team lead meeting and the same thing came up on multiple different topics of lenders saying that they can fund somebody for way more than they can actually fund, or fund somebody way faster than they can actually fund. So how do you find the person that can help you but actually can do what they say they can do? Somebody you can rely on, somebody you can trust. Well, that's exactly what we're going to decode during today's training. Before we dive in too deep, I want to remind you that on the 23rd of January, we are going to have a huge private event that you can actually join us for. It's called the Funding30Challenge.com. We get 20 of the country's top financial experts, and they come to reveal 30 of the newest, hottest funding programs that are out there. So the bottom line is, if you want to get money to grow your business in 2023, you want to be there, because this is where all the lenders come and actually hang out. They show you all the newest programs you can qualify for, even if you've been turned down, even if you have credit issues, even if you're looking for multi-million dollars for expansion, whatever it may be, those funders are there. And then they actually go to a backstage where they actually do the deals. They actually do funding deals live during the training. So if you're interested in getting money in 2023, 100% free to attend. Go to funding30challenge.com, funding30challenge.com, and join thousands of other entrepreneurs as we literally create a funding flash mob that is designed just for the purpose of helping you get capital. So you got to get financing, but you need to know who to trust. You got to figure out which lenders are best for you. And how can you tell the ones that are too good to be true, or the ones that can't actually do what they say they can do? Okay, some offer what they can't deliver. A lot of them actually do. And others are just straight scams that will take your money, take your private information, and run. So it all brings us to this one point of who can we trust when it comes to getting the financing that we actually need. So we got to have an outline for vetting lenders that you can use to make sure that they can actually do what they say they can do, and they offer good financing terms, right? So we got to look at their time in business, their reviews, their reputation, the industry knowledge they have. And we got to make sure that they're actually presenting a deal that makes sense, that's fair on both sides. If you're doing this kind of vetting process, and I'm going to dive in deep into each one of these, then you're going to have a pretty good idea of exactly who it is you're dealing with and be able to pick the ones out that you can trust. So if you're just coming in, you're looking to get money for your business, tell me what industry you're coming in from. Even give me your business name, and I'll give you a shout out right here on the live stream. And I can speak more to you if I know what industry you're in. Need to come up with a registered and Cash Nova. If you're registered for the challenge already, keep in mind, you don't need the backstage pass, but we do have that backstage pass available where you can actually get backstage access with all of our actual funders. And Kenny says, hey, I'm looking at real estate investing. My LLC is currently being set up. After that, I'm setting up an LLC checking account that I can give you guys a call to get capital. That's awesome. Well, again, don't feel like you have to have those things, Kenny, to give us a call. Part of what we do is walk businesses through the entire setup structure of the business and how to do it the right way. So we can even help you with every aspect of setting up your business, your bank account, your merchant account, your address, your phone number, all those things as well. So first of all, let's just look at how long this lender's actually been around. How long have they been in business? So what we want to do is we want to really stay away from the newbies that are out there. Okay, we see a lot of them come in and it's a bait and switch with business credit. Meaning that they promote, they do business credit, but they don't really do any kind of business credit. They're just grabbing that keyword term to try to promote whatever product it is that they have. So we want to look at things like maybe even their Secretary of State, the Better Business Bureau, to see how long they've actually been around. Do they have an experienced team that can walk you through the process? Okay, again, I find that if you know how long they've been around, that even if you're calling them, you can tell a lot just based on how they answer the phone. Are they able to actually answer your concerns, your needs? Does the person that answers the phone actually have the knowledge they need to be able to take care of you? Are they on social media? Have they been around on social media for a while? Are they posting regularly on social media? Are people engaging with the posts that they actually have? Okay, so all these are types of things that we see from seasoned businesses that newer businesses are not going to have, right? So how do you know? Well, this is the best way to figure these things out. Let's look at their social media platforms. Have they been posting for a while? Do they have recent posts? I don't know about you, but I have not done business with somebody because when I look at their social media posts, they posted stuff for a while and now they haven't for quite some period of time. Those to me are huge red flags and things that should be red flags to you as well. If we look at Secretary of State, then we see that they just started or that they're not established business. That's a huge red flag as well. Another red flag is going to their BBB and seeing that they don't even have a profile there whatsoever. Okay, that is a huge red flag. Why are these red flags? Because a lot of lenders might not do what they say they can do. Then they go out of business. Then they come back up as another entity, another business type. So these are things that we want to actually be concerned with. Now we also want to look at their reviews. We want to look for social proof. What social proof do they actually have? Okay. Do people engage on social media? Like I said, the next thing is, do they respond? Okay. So this is interesting. So the other day we were vetting a company that had an F on BBB. I'm not afraid of an F. I'm afraid of what the F is a result of, and what the comments were. And it's very interesting because somebody would post a review, and keep in mind, this is a company that offers financing. They're not a lender. They help companies finance their customers, and they also collect on those customers. So anybody in the collection game typically doesn't have the best reputation. You got to look deeper into the reviews, right? And so when we looked at the actual complaints, there's a complaint that says, hey, this happened. And then the actual owner of the company responded with a very detailed response of the specifics of what happened in those instances. To me, that's a really positive sign. Is if somebody leaves a negative review and nobody responds, that's kind of scary. But if a negative review is left and the owner responds with detailed account of what took place, then oftentimes that makes a lot of sense. And it kind of makes it look like maybe the reviewer's the one on the wrong side here. So I don't know if you've looked at that, but it's a good way to vet a company. Is that, again, are they actually posting on social media? Are people responding and engaging with them? Do they have reviews online? If they have negative reviews, into those reviews. Yelp, Trustpilot, Facebook, okay, even Google. So do they have reviews in these places, and are people posting and responding to the reviews? Look, if I see what looks like canned reviews, you know what I do? I copy and paste them into Google and I search, because oftentimes people that are using canned reviews, those same reviews have been used somewhere else. And if you find the exact wording of a review on their profile that's used a bunch of other places, it's probably fake reviews. It's now easier than ever to be able to produce fake reviews. Okay, we've even seen instances where Google's making changes here because people were posting bad reviews that were fake just to harm companies, and then blackmailing them to get payments to remove those reviews. So we got to look to see if they have third-party reviews. If they have negative reviews, are they responding, and does their response make sense? Does it kind of overcome your concern of what the actual reviewer said that's negative? Okay, sometimes it's okay to have a positive and then some negative reviews. It shows the reviewers are truly reviewing. And then again, if you have these canned reviews or look fake, then it's easy to do some research. Look at the reviewer. Okay, now I will be honest with you. I'll tell you, this takes you down a very bad rabbit hole. Okay, I was in the small town in Pennsylvania outside of Corey for my niece's wedding last month. And I found this place we were going to eat, and this had a negative review. And I looked at it, and this lady's review really made me laugh. It was quite funny. So then I went and I looked at her reviews, because you can do that. And I sat there for 2 hours with my family reading this lady's reviews, and we thought it was hysterical. It was absolutely hilarious. And this was somebody that we would never not do business with, a restaurant or company, because she reviewed them bad. Her concerns were just ridiculous. So again, it's good to be able to look to make sure those reviews are really accurate. And if they are responding to negative reviews. And again, you got to be skeptical of reviews on lender's site only, okay? If they're only testimonials on their website, you got to be concerned with that. It's another thing I do. I take testimonial copy and I copy it and I paste it and I put it into Google searches. And oftentimes you can see that exact same testimonial is being used a bunch of different places by a bunch of different people. It's completely fake. So again, you always want to be skeptical of anything you see on a lender's site. I was actually looking just today for startup business loans, and I found this lender, and none of their testimonials look legit. None of the pictures on those testimonials look legit. So I did a deeper dive. And again, I find some inaccuracies or some concerns that those are fake reviews. So we want to look at third-party sources like Trustpilot, like Google, like Yelp, like Facebook, and we want to do a little due diligence to verifying those reviews as well. Okay, and Cash says, hey, I'm in the process of running a few businesses. Hey, congratulations. What's my NAICS code for e-commerce? John, don't know those. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of those, and I don't have them memorized off top of my head. Plus, it depends on what you sell online. But you can go to NAICS.com, and that will actually help you get into the categories and the subcategories to find out exactly what it is that is the best NAICS for your business. And Cash Nova says, hey, I'm Cash Novelty Enterprise LLC. Thanks for coming in. Hello, Shondi with Dream 12 Properties in Columbia, South Carolina. Thank you for coming in as well. And everybody, come in. Tell me where you're coming in from. Give me your company name, and I'll give you a shout out here. So how do we spot fake reviews, right? Generic comments, no specific names, services, or results mentioned. Users from outside of the U.S., spammy comments don't count, of course. We can also look at the reviewer, as I mentioned, to see their past reviews. A normal reviewer will give negative and positive reviews, right? So if you look at my review history, then you're going to see I leave a lot of good positive reviews with very specific comments about the experiences I had. And then I have negative reviews in my review history too, when I have bad experiences. So these are things that we can easily use to spot fake reviews. The next thing is industry knowledge. Okay, do we find that they are actually helping provide education out there? Okay, do they find ways to help you actually succeed? Okay, and this is one of the things that I'm most proud about of what we do here at Credit Suite. I think that we are one of, if not the biggest educator in the business financial space. We do a lot of goodwill. We provide a lot of value like this. We're not going to get to the end of the training, and I'm going to sell you something here today, okay? It's just straight content. It's just straight value to you. So are they doing that? Are they releasing value, or are they just selling? If they are just selling and not providing value, I'm not saying there's somebody you shouldn't do business with, but that's not the type of person I typically do business with. In my world, I like to do business with people that share my my ethics and my morals, right? I like to see people that have similar ethics and morals than what I do. And I believe that if you're going to be in business, you should be in business to help people. And if you're going to help people, then you shouldn't charge everybody that you help money. You should at least have some way of providing value, education, and knowledge to the public at no cost. Okay, if you can believe that, you can believe something different. But if you do have similar beliefs to that, then what are they posting on social media? What are they posting on their blog and their website? What are they posting out in the world? If you search the company's name and the CEO's name, what do you find about them? Because again, if they're not providing value, do they really care that much about you as a customer? These are things that you might want to think about. Can they simply explain their product, or is it confusing to talk to them? I don't know about you, but I have not done business with people because they sat there for 5, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes explaining what they do, and I still was confused. I look at their website, and I'm still confused at what they even do. If they can't simplify it in one sentence of what they do, then you probably shouldn't be working with them, because they may not even truly understand what the purpose is that they're trying to accomplish. So again, can they simply explain the product? Can they simply explain the loan program they're offering to you? Do you have crystal clear clarity when they explain it to you? These are things that you're going to want to look at. Do they provide solutions, not excuses? Okay, and again, I'm really big on ownership. I'm really big on accountability. So when I look at reviews, for example, that are negative, and I see an owner's response or see the company's response, does the company take ownership in areas they shouldn't, or do they just pass the buck and blame everybody else? I don't like to deal with people that don't take accountability. I like to deal with people that say, hey, look, you know what? Here's the exact situation. And in this situation, you're right. We probably could have done better. You know, these are some things we'll do different next time. Well, that's taking ownership and accountability, and that means a lot to me. Okay, and this is something I think that's really big in my life. I take ownership for stuff that has nothing to do with my fault whatsoever, and I do it because I think in every circumstance I can learn lessons and do better next time. Like if there's a problem, even if I didn't cause a problem, there are things I can do better. And it's funny because even when it's clearly their problem, this is one of my newest things that I've used to high degree of success is I go to them and I say, hey, tell me, what could I have done better here to get the result that was expected? Even though it's clearly not my fault, right? I didn't do anything wrong. They did. And I say to them, hey, look, I know we were supposed to meet at 3:30 and you didn't show up till 3:50. What could I have done better on my end? Because my time's valuable and I sat here for 20 minutes waiting. So I'm just trying to figure out what I did wrong and what I could do better to have made sure that we were here at the exact same time we were supposed to be here at the same time. And I word it in a way, and then they say, oh, no, look, it's not you, it's me. Here's what happened. So I find that's an interesting way now to present it, even when I clearly know it's not my fault. I'll say, what could I have done better to be able to get the intended result that you actually said that I was going to be able to get? So again, do they provide solutions, or are they making up excuses for why they fail, why they can't get the intended result? Are people complaining about them online and they're making excuses and blaming it on the other person instead of taking accountability for the expectation they set? The next thing we want to look at is we need to see a fair deal on both sides. Okay, lenders aren't going to lose. If the deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. I see this all the time. One of my really good friends came to me and said, hey, man, there's these credit lines that I'm able to pay this company this money. They're able to get me these massive high limit credit lines without guarantees, without personal credit checks that report to the business credit reporting agencies. What do you think about that? I'm like, it's 100% scam. It's 100% scam. I said, I can tell you, I see this all the time. And what I tell them is I ask them for 3 references. Give me references for 3 people. I will look the people up on Google. I will verify who they are, that they actually are the owner of the business that they claim to be the owner of. And I want to talk to 3 people that have actually gotten the result that you're out there promising to me you're going to get. And not one time have those people ever done that. Not once. And so that's always something that I think is interesting. If they come in and offer something it's too good to be true, then there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, look, it seems kind of sketchy that of what you're promoting. It doesn't even seem like it seems like it's too good to be true. So can you give me 1, 2, or even 3 references of people that have gotten that result that you're stating that you can actually get? And again, I find that the bad and the fakes go away, that you never hear from them again. Come up and say, we can do all of this, right? We can add trade lines to your client's credit reports. Then once those are added, we can come out and get them $50,000 credit lines at Bank of America. I said, oh, really? You can do that? Yeah, do it all the time. Great. Well, you know how many clients we have and how much money that could mean to you if we referred them all to you. So I'm going to ask you for this. Give me 2 people that you've actually done that for, got the $50,000 at a Bank of America for, and then I'm going to verify them. I'm going to Google their name, make sure they find their social profiles, make sure they work for the company they say they work for. I'm going to verify it all, but I'm just asking you for 2. Give me 2 references of people that have actually done it. And they never can. And it's an easy way to call out somebody that is potentially fake. Okay. And hey, John, thanks for coming in from Effective Asset Solutions in Chicago. Thank you very much for saying hello. And I appreciate you coming in. And that's it. I think I've got everybody that's giving me shout outs back. So again, if a deal seems to be good, too good to be true, it typically is. Okay. I mean, 9.9 out of 10 times, ask them for references in those cases, right? But you also got to keep in mind, even though the lenders don't want to lose, you shouldn't lose either. So we've got to understand things like risk. You should be paying outrageous interest rates if your risk is low. And I'll give you a simple example. There's a kind of financing out there called merchant cash advance or cash flow financing. You get money just because you have consistent cash flow. And interest rates on this go from 8 to 60%. So I don't mind 60% interest rates because those are there for very, very, very high risk situations. Okay. I actually saw a guy that wasn't my client, but he got it from somebody else. He basically paid over 60% interest on equipment financing. Now, a lot of people would call that predatory. A lot of people would say that was a lender scamming him and ripping him off. I don't look at things that way. What I look at is that risk determines rate. So if you have somebody that has bad credit, no business credit established, doesn't have a lot of cash, doesn't manage their bank account responsibly, is in a high-risk industry, that's a very high-risk situation. That person's very lucky to find anybody that will lend to them. And if they do get somebody to lend to them, they're going to pay very high interest rates because they're high risk. Now, in this guy's case, he didn't care because he bought a tree stumper for a golf course he was building. And he no longer needed to use manual labor to do that. And he saved $10,000 a month, even at 65% interest. He saved 10 grand a month and he wrote off all the interest. He gets it back on his taxes anyway. So it's a win-win for him. He was actually happy that he got it because nobody else would help the guy. But if you're low risk, you shouldn't be paying 60% interest, right? And risk factors that we look at are things like, how long have you been in business? Do you have business credit established? What is the quality of your personal credit? How well do you manage your bank account? Do you have a bunch of non-S and NSFs out there? Do you yourself have a negative reputation where the lender's looking you up? They find all kind of complaints about you out there. These are things that can make you get low interest or high interest, the things that affect your risk. So it's okay to pay higher interest if you know you're higher risk. But also, if you're lower risk, you shouldn't be paying outrageous interest rates. We got cash flow financing at 8% interest. Most have never even heard of rates that low. But again, we had good time in business, good bank account management, good credit, established business credit. We knew we were low risk. We got the rate that we expected, even though it was a higher interest rate normal program. So again, lenders are going to mitigate their risk by charging you more if you're higher risk. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, it needs to be a win-win, not a lose-lose or a win-lose-lose-win. Meaning that both people have to kind of win a little. Meaning you have to get the financing at terms that make sense, and they have to have a chance of getting back the money that they're actually going to need to make. They've got to get enough money to compensate for the actual risk that they're taking. Okay. And again, this is something you want to keep in mind. The deal's got to be fair on both sides. And I tell a lot of business owners, if you don't like the rate you're getting, then you need to take ownership of lowering the risk. And you can't come and complain about an interest rate when your whole personal credit's horrible, you've never established business credit, you got a bunch of NSFs and negative balances in your bank account because you're not managing it responsibly, and then you've been in business for 6 months and a lot of people are complaining about you online. Everything indicates that you are a very high risk of defaulting, okay? And that's why they don't want to lend to you. But you can lower that. The longer time you're in business, the more you work on improving your personal credit, establishing business credit as well, making sure you know your NAICS and finding a low risk NAICS to make sure you're not in a high risk industry. These are all things you could do to be able to create better terms for you on the lending side. So look, if we can help you along the way, then I think that we're a company you can trust. If you look out there, you'll find hundreds of different reviews out there. Inc., Entrepreneur, Forbes, etc. We've been featured and we constantly contribute there. We provide tremendous amounts of free education and goodwill in the actual space as well. And what we do is we vet all of these lenders for you. And what I mean by that is that when a lender comes to us and says, I can do this thing, we say, yeah, but can you really do it better than somebody else? Can you really get better rates? Can you really lend more money? Can you really do the thing you say you're going to do? And we vet them out. And when we vet them, and we even vet them with a client, we tell the client, we've never used this source before. Here's all the indicators we think that they're reputable. But you'd be our test subject to see if they can actually do what they say they can do. Here's what they say they can do. And the client chooses to move forward. So we always are very careful to vet the sources before we roll them out. And I'll give you a simple example of this. We are starting to do SBA startup loans, and we're actually having success with them. And I never talked about SBA startup loans before, even though we've been testing them for months, because we don't talk about that stuff until we have sources we know we can trust that actually do the stuff they say that they're going to do. I've seen other funders in the space take a bunch of deposit money from borrowers, selling them terms that were too good to be true from private investors. They never got that money back, and the investor disappeared and they never got their money either. So again, there's a lot to be said about working with somebody you trust from the lender side. And if we can help you, then all you have to do is go to creditsuite.com/consult. We can tell you all the funding you qualify for, and we can get you with pre-vetted lenders that we know will do what they say they're going to do. Will get you the best terms, that actually come ones that give you approvals more the times than miles. And most importantly, they're reputable. They actually do what they say they're going to do. They went through vigorous background checks and other checks that we do to make sure that they can actually deliver. So if we can help you in this process, let us know. We never charge you a dime of money to help you with getting funding. If you're looking about getting funding for your business, you can go to creditsuite.com/get funding. And there we can actually tell you all the funding you're able to qualify for. If you got value from this training, make sure you check out creditsuite.com/toolbox. You can get about $400 worth of goodies right there that will help you get money for your business just by sharing our next live stream. And then don't forget to take 1 minute of time to go to the top right of our page at creditsuite.com and simply subscribe to our social media channels. We have a 1 minute tips on a lot of channels like Instagram and TikTok. We've got hour and a half trainings on places like YouTube. We also have daily tips we deliver on places like Facebook and Twitter as well. And a podcast with 500,000 downloads you can even listen to on the go. And you can get it all in less than 1 minute at the top right of our page, creditsuite.com. Kenny says, hey, I'm hoping to get a credit line hybrid funding when I get my LLC set up. That's awesome. And don't forget, Kenny, we can help you with that. And then give us a call. Credit Line Hybrid is a great program where you can get up to $150,000 of credit lines, no doc, 0% rates. They report a lot of them to the business credit reporting agencies. All you need is good personal credit or a guarantor that has good personal credit to get approved. So if we can help you with that, let us know. And TNT, the Noble Trader, thank you very much. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Appreciate it. Don't forget, go to funding30challenge.com. If you have any interest in getting money for your business, Funding 30 Challenge, it takes place on the 23rd of January. This is, I think, our fifth Funding 30 Challenge. And again, I can't tell you how many people we have funded through the challenge. It's a phenomenal way to hear from lenders, hear about the best programs, go get approved while you're there during the challenge. And again, network with thousands of other entrepreneurs that are all building businesses just like you out in the space, getting money, and hear about their successes and failures to expedite your results and help you get more money at better terms. All you have to do is go to funding30challenge.com to register. It's 100% free to take part of the Funding 30 Challenge. Thank everybody for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you on our next training where we talk about more cool ways to get the money you need to start and grow your business. Take care.